Until as recently as 2013, the letters Q, W, and X were banned in Turkey. It was illegal to use them, and people were sometimes taken to court or jailed over this. What did these letters ever do to Turkey? Like, do they represent cuss words or something? Here's an explanation. The founding of modern Turkey as we know it today can largely be attributed to one man, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. In fact, the surname Atatürk literally just means father of the Turks. He was an authoritarian modernizer who transformed the country into a secular republic. This involved secularized education, women's rights, and last names like Atatürk. But it wasn't just about modernization, it was also about redefining Turkish identity as separate from the rest of the Muslim world. For instance, most Muslim majority countries at that time used the Arabic script, whereas Atatürk opted for the Latin script. And here's where we can really start to see the overlap between nationalism and linguistic identity. Even in English, the standard Latin alphabet has a lot of letters that aren't really necessary for English. For instance, C makes the K sound or the S sound, and we already have letters for both of those, so why do we need C? The reason we preserve letters like this is because it shows a connection to the culture from which that word came. For instance, we could spell graph with an F, but that PH there kind of reminds us that it's a word of Greek origin. But Atatürk's reform was often about defining Turks as their own thing and stripping out everything else. To write Turkish, you don't need the letter Q. There's no uvular sounds like K, and K works just fine. There's also no distinction between W and V, so they just stuck with V and threw out W. And there's no H or X sound, so they don't need X. So throwing out those letters was kind of a statement in self-sufficiency, and it defined Turkish writing in opposition to other languages that might need those letters. So for instance, Kurdish, another language spoken in Turkey, does need those sounds because it's the K sound, the H sound, and the W sound. And because Atatürk wanted to create this mono-ethnic state, using those letters was kind of a defiance to that. So that's why even in 2007, a Kurdish mayor was taken to court for using the letter W in a written Kurdish greeting. But as of 2013, these letters are no longer banned, although I'm sure there's still a little bit of a taboo with them.